Hi, this is going to help get you started on the PhET gas laws simulation lab. Rather than spend a lot of time looking at the activity itself, I'm going to take a look real quick at some of the controls on the sim. Use the side here that says phase changes. That makes a lot more sense. This gives you a lot more control over things. Again, you're going to be picking oxygen. This lets you again, adjust whichever scale you're looking at. This lets you heat it and cool it, play it and pause it. You also have this big finger here, which you can move up and down to change the volume. And then you have a little pressure meter here to tell you how many atmospheres of pressure you're dealing with. So just to give you kind of, for instance, if we heat this up to 150 Kelvin, apply heat until that temperature meter at the top gives me 150. And you can see just from doing this, we're already getting some pretty impressive changes to our particles that are inside the container there. So looking at this on my data table, I would record 150 for my temperature. And for the pressure, see how it's kind of fluctuating? I'd give it just a few minutes, kind of see if it reaches some kind of a constant. And if it doesn't, then you might just pause and then just take a snapshot. And it's going to be a little bit different for everybody. And it tells you here to heat the oxygen up to 450 Kelvin, record the new temp and pressure, and then heat it to 900 Kelvin and record the new temp and pressure. And then be sure you're not skipping out on the parts here that ask you to describe what's going on and what the relationship is. At this point, you may or may not have already looked at all the gas laws in class, and so there's a good chance that you already know what the relationship's going to be, but use the data to justify your answer. Say, as we increase the temperature, comma, then blank happened with the pressure. It does tell you to draw a graph right here. Be sure you follow the directions carefully. Don't skip out on any parts. For experiment 2, you'll hit reset. And again, you're going to choose oxygen. Now let me show you what this is talking about here. So let me go ahead and I'm going to crank the heat up here to 450. It'll take a little bit of patience. It'd be fantastic if we could just type in a temperature. Doesn't look like it's going to let us though. So again, I'm cranking this up to 450. Now for this next portion, what you're doing is you are changing the volume of the container. And some of this is going to have to be just you make a judgment call based on the directions you're given. Okay, we're almost there. Okay, there's 450 Kelvin. So the directions here tell us to look at the volume in terms of containers. And so first of all, the first volume you'll type there is going to be 1 container. Then we're going to record the pressure. So for instance, we've got about 20, I'm just going to pause. Looks like I would call that 23.6 atmospheres. And then when it tells you to change the volume, what I would do here is I would decrease it to half the container by using this finger here. So you're going to push it down until it's about halfway. And when it's about halfway, you would record the new pressure. And then again, here it says decrease it down to about 1/4 of a container. Oh, It does want us to cool the oxygen back down after we compress it so that we keep the temperature as close to constant as possible. So I know this is not all the way halfway down, but see how the temperature's up? So I would have to cool it down to 450 before I could take my pressure reading. I'm not going to be patient and wait and do that, but you will have a lot more time than I will. Again, you're going to describe the relationship. You're going to draw a graph that shows the relationship. For experiment 3, you hit reset, pick oxygen again. You're going to keep constant pressure. So you start with a pressure at about 100 atmospheres, and then you make changes according to the directions that are given to you here. After you've got your data, make another statement, draw another graph. You are going to do the extension question. This is not optional. And it's asking about the bicycle pump. The bicycle pump is this little dude you may have noticed over here, which when I operate the pump, I don't know if you can really tell, but it's putting more particles into the container. And so you have a question based on that. So hopefully that's everything you're going to need to know. Good luck.